That front end doesn't ask for your attention, it takes it, and everything behind it earns that right. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a small team inside GM quietly built a truck that wasn't supposed to exist, and why it changes the entire conversation around the American luxury SUV. There's one engineering decision buried in this truck that fundamentally changes how it behaves at highway speed. It has nothing to do with the engine. I'll get to it. And the real question, is this Suburban finally worth a six-figure sticker? My answer is going to surprise you. We'll cover the design, the interior, and the powertrain, but first, there's a backstory most coverage has missed entirely. Here's what most people don't know. This project didn't come from Chevrolet's standard product cycle. Sources inside GM's commercial division indicate the catalyst was a specific market problem. American full-size SUVs were losing diplomatic and executive transport contracts in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia to the Land Cruiser and the G-Wagon. The response wasn't marketing, it was an engineering directive. The first place that shows up is the suspension architecture. At 6,000 pounds, reactive suspension is always chasing the problem. Preemptive damping neutralizes force before it transfers to the cabin. For anyone who's felt a full-size SUV crash through a pothole at highway speed, that difference is significant, and it's the engineering foundation the rest of this truck is built on. Speculative tech number 1, Predictive Terrain Response. Forward-mounted radar and cameras read the road surface over 100 feet ahead, adjusting individual corner damper rates before the wheel makes contact. At this vehicle weight, conventional adaptive suspension always reacts after the load transfer has already begun. Pre-positioning eliminates that lag at the source, and it's the reason this truck rides the way it does at highway speed with a full passenger load. If the suspension signals intent, the interior either delivers on it or doesn't. Step inside, and the first thing you notice isn't any single feature. It's the intentionality of the whole space. The two-tone layout, dark perforated leather above and cognac below, isn't decorative logic. The darker upper panels reduce windshield glare. The warm lower leather visually anchors a cabin that could otherwise feel cavernous. That's design earning its keep. The wood trim runs the full dashboard width. Where American trucks typically expose their quality control at the seams, in the grain matching, this reads as continuous and intentional. Genuinely impressive at this price tier. Now, the second speculative technology changes how you interpret the amber lighting running across the dashboard and door panels. This isn't ambience. Speculative tech number 2, Ambient Intelligence Integration. Seat sensors monitor occupant thermal data and pressure readings, then automatically adjust HVAC zones, lighting color temperature, and seat bolster tension in response, without any driver input. The engineering rationale: on a vehicle managing macro-scale chassis loads, this system handles micro-scale occupant comfort in parallel. For anyone commuting 45 minutes each way, that distinction isn't a novelty, it's a genuine quality of life shift. Where I think they miss the mark is the rear entertainment mounting. The headrest screens work, but the bracket hardware doesn't match the surrounding finish level. At this price, experienced buyers noticed exactly that kind of detail. Remember that engineering decision I mentioned at the open? The next section is where it starts to pay off. Everything you've seen so far represents deliberate, reasoned engineering. But here's what the spec sheet doesn't tell you: the one decision that changes how this truck actually behaves when you push it at speed. That's next. The exterior is doing something more considered than most coverage has acknowledged. Look past the body kit and you'll find real engineering rationale. The widened lower fascia and front splitter aren't styling elements. They're managing airflow under a vehicle with significant frontal area. Under sustained highway speeds, underbody turbulence generates rear axle lift on full-sized SUVs. The rear diffuser geometry addresses exactly that. Not race car aerodynamics, but honest, functional work. The 22-inch wheel package looks purposeful and improves lateral stability. The trade-off is reduced sidewall compliance, and that's precisely where Predictive Terrain Response shifts from an optional feature to engineering necessity. Those two decisions are connected by design. Overall, length sits around 225 inches on a 134-inch wheelbase. Ground clearance is reduced from the standard Suburban's 8.2 inches. This truck is optimized for on-road dynamics. If consistent trail capability matters to you, the high country is the more honest starting point. But design earns nothing without the right powertrain behind it. The expected configuration is GM's 6.2-liter V8, 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque in standard Suburban trim, likely tuned higher in this configuration. Speculative tech number 3. AI route learning torque distribution. Unlike reactive AWD, this architecture uses GPS mapping and drive history. After 30 trips on familiar roads, the system pre-positions torque distribution before corners, grade changes, and acceleration zones, anticipating load rather than responding to slip. The engineering logic: on a 6,000-pound vehicle, torque correction after slip has already transferred force through the body. Anticipation eliminates the correction entirely. Against the Lincoln Navigator's twin-turbo V6 at 440 horsepower, this Suburban trades peak output for low RPM torque character. For anyone who's driven both, that V8 pull under 2,000 RPM is the more satisfying real-world experience. The Navigator pulls, this one pushes. The performance case is solid, but performance alone doesn't close a six-figure sale. The verdict does. Now, here's what I actually think, and I'll be completely straight with you. That AI torque distribution isn't a software trick. It's a fundamental shift in how this vehicle relates to the driver. And that's what justifies the pricing conversation we're about to have. Pricing for the Suburban Elite is expected to set in the $95,000 to $110,000 range fully configured. For context, a loaded Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum runs around $105,000. The Lincoln Navigator Black Label starts near $109,000. So this isn't aggressive pricing for the segment, but it is pricing where every decision gets scrutinized. Depreciation is worth addressing directly. Full-size American luxury SUVs typically drop 30 to 35% in the first 3 years. For buyers who hold their vehicles, and that tends to be this audience, the math is manageable. But factor in fuel at 15 to 16 miles per gallon mixed and maintenance on a high-spec V8. Plan accordingly. Now, to close both loops I opened at the start. The engineering decision that changes highway behavior is the AI torque distribution system, not suspension geometry, not engine calibration. Software-driven chassis intelligence. That's where the real differentiation lives. And is this worth six figures? My answer, if you're trading in a current Tahoe or Suburban and you've wanted an American full-size that genuinely competes with European luxury without leaving the GM ecosystem, yes. This is the strongest case GM has made for that buyer in years. If consistent off-road use or maximum ride compliance is your priority, start with the high country instead. That front end I showed you at the open, the one that takes attention rather than asking for it, now you know exactly what's backing it up. I'd genuinely like to hear your take on this, especially if you've owned a Suburban or Tahoe in the last 10 years. Drop your thoughts below. If you want to see how the Elite stacks up against the Escalade ESV directly, that video is right here. If this kind of real, no-nonsense automotive analysis is what you're after, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.